Hello, everybody. My name is Kamara, and today we'll be reviewing our very first double length episode of season 2 of the Bubble Guppies. Season 2, episode 4 and 5, Bubble Puppy's Fin-Tastic Fairy Tale. And I would like to say, fun fact about this episode. It was actually nominated for an Annie Award for Best Music in an Animated Television Broadcast Production in 2013. But sadly, it didn't win, which it did, because the songs in this episode are an absolute bop, and I love it. So, in this episode, Molly and Gil are climbing a hill to fetch a pail of water in the enchanted forest when an evil witch suddenly appears and turns their dog Bubble Puppy into a frog. To break the spell, Molly and Gil must enlist the help of fairy tale friends to brew and restore a potion. They must work fast, though. The witch is plotting to use her mean green bubble potion to turn everyone in the world into frogs. Can they stop her before it's too late? As for this episode, I absolutely love it. I specifically remembered when it aired. I remember I was at my grandmother's house, and I remember she had to do some stuff in the basement, and I know people aren't really afraid of the basement, but luckily the basement that she was in, the basement she had and my grandfather, and they still use today, it actually has a TV. It actually has a TV. So I remembered my grandmother, she gave me the remote to watch Bubble Guppies, and then I remembered when it was about to air. Like I was right downstairs in the basement I was in the basement the whole time. And when my grandma was ready to go back upstairs, the movie was halfway done. So she was like, "Okay, I guess I'll stay down here and wait for you to finish." And I'm so glad she did, because I did not want to miss this movie because it was so freaking good. I loved it so darn much. Just in the characters, Molly and Gil as Jack and Jill, that rhymed. That rhymed. But they actually use their maiden names because we'll have another character in the movie named Jack, which is played by Gobi. We have Dima as Goldilocks, which whoever made this decision, you are a freaking genius. You deserve $1 million, because Goldilocks, golden like hair, Dima, and might I add, in the season finale of this season in Good Hair Day, she specifically says that she describes her hairs as a bunch of golden cinnamon rolls. Just genius. Oh God, genius. And sweet little Una as Little Red Riding Hood, and Nani as the magic mirror. Just, I love it. I absolutely love it. And we cannot forget the witch being voiced by freaking Wanda Skies. I know her voice. I haven't seen too many projects, but I know her voice is so familiar. I do know her for playing I forgot the character's name, being in the Ugly Dolls movie, playing that the orange monster. And I remember her being in Vampirina when she was the voice of Gorgoria. She was one of my favorite characters. I loved her. She was so sassy. She was the perfect person to play the witch. She was the perfect person to play the witch. And I'm honestly happy that the witch was also a mermaid too. So yeah, I liked it. I really, really liked it. So our episode starts with actually Bubble Puppy swimming the school and not the Bubble Guppies, and Mr. Grouper announcing the title. So I like the change. I like that change. And then we're inside the classroom, and Mr. Grouper is greeting everybody. And then they ask him about a book that he has, and he explains that it's about fairy tales, and shows them the book while talking about the characters. And he talks about characters like the wolf from Little Red Riding Hood, the three bears, the beanstalk from Jack and the Beanstalk, and the witch. And then that's when they sing one of my favorite songs, just Once Upon a Time. It hits. It hits. It's so good. Like, once upon a time, just please don't leave out. Once upon a time, and it'll all be fine. Ooh, it hits. And the bridge just, and I love Dima. she she plays the I want to say Aurora, the prick on the magic spinning wheel. Just and she automatically falls asleep. It's so funny. And then after the song, Dima and the other guppies ask Mr. Grouper to read them some stories from the book, but they all want to hear different ones, and we all hear like them all chattering and stuff. And Mr. Grouper says, "Why don't I thinks maybe he should make one up?" And he explains that he'll tell them a story that they never heard before. And that's when we actually get to the book, the actual plot. So, once upon a time, Molly and Gale went up a hill to fetch a pail of water. Molly tells Bubble Puppy to not go into the enchanted forest because he could get lost. But the poor thing, he doesn't listen. Looking nearby in the shadows was a very mean witch with an evil plan. She asked her magic mirror, played by Nani, who the most evil person in the forest is. Then explained her plans to test a new potion on Bubble Puppy. Nani points out that he's just a lost puppy, and thank you. I love Nani in this special because even though he is a part of an evil plan, he still mostly has good intentions of not wanting to join the bad side. And I'll get on a tangent about Nani towards the end because he was one of the first early examples when I was younger of somebody who was working with a villain actually stands up to a villain. But we'll talk about that later. So, I'm sorry. So then, after telling him that he's just a puppy, she doesn't care, sadly. And then she blew her magic bubble at him. And then Bubble Puppy tried to attack the bubble, but instead was transformed into a frog. And then the witch swam away on her magical broom, cackling over her evil plans, involving her mean green bubble potion. And then back on the hill, meanwhile, Gil and Molly are trying to search for Bubble Puppy, but they can't find him anywhere until they see a strange frog. And then they ask the frog if he's seen their puppy, which is really funny. And then Gil noticed the frog is wearing the same color as Bubble Puppy. And then they realize that is Bubble Puppy. And then they exclaim that he's been turned into a frog. And then Molly, I'm surprised, and I'm so happy there's still interaction in this movie, because our next special, we barely get any interaction, like, at all. But we'll talk about that in season 3. And she asks, "Do you know who did this to Bubble Puppy?" And then us the viewers have to say, it was the witch. It was the witch that did it. And then Gil doesn't know how they can turn him back into a puppy. And then Molly then points out the other side of the enchanted forest, where there's a castle there. And hopefully at that castle, it can Bubble Puppy can turn back into a frog. I mean into a puppy, because that's where the witch's lair is. So back at the castle, which is the witch's home, the witch was going to make more of her evil potion, and once again asked Molly who the most evil person was. And then a few of her assistant crabs, which look so incredibly miserable. They look so incredibly miserable. So miserable. They come in, and then they toss her potion to them, telling them to make more, enough to fill the truck. And that truck will come into play later. She then asked Nani why he seemed so sad, and he explained it was because he felt bad for the puppy. And I'm so happy my boy still has a heart in this movie. I'm so happy he's not evil. Thank you, because I cannot picture an evil Nani. I can't. I'll talk about that in season 5. I cannot picture an evil Nani. I just can't, bro. I can't. But luckily Nani didn't say that in front of the witch, because Lord knows what would happen if he would have. He luckily said it when the witch left. And also he wants to help Molly and Gil. So he has an idea. And we cut back to Molly and Gil. We cut back to Molly and Gil, and then their little in their little bucket. He explains about what happened, and they try to warn them. They try to warn them about they shouldn't go to the castle, but instead they should make a magic potion that'll reverse the witch's spell and change Bubble Puppy back. He explains that to make the potion, they'll need cookies, porridge, and a golden egg. He adds that they can all be found in the enchanted forest, and then he leaves. But don't worry, he'll go back to help them. He will. But unfortunately, Molly and Gil, they don't have a clue where they can find all those 3 ingredients. But then they hear somebody approaching, which is Una, who's Little Red Riding Hood. And Una tells them that she likes their cute frog. And then when they explain what happened, she tells them that luckily her grandmother can probably help them out. Because, Little Red Riding Hood bringing cookies to her grandmother. Duh. It makes so much sense. And then they said that they can follow her, but they need to skip. Which, who doesn't like skipping? Who doesn't like skipping to their grandmothers? Just me? Okay. And soon they soon they head over to her grandmother's house. But then they see somebody who doesn't really look like her grandmother. If you know where I'm going with this. If you know where I'm going with this. And then Una and the other guppies don't believe that this is her grandma. And Una and the little fish point out that she looks weird, such as her big eyes, big nose, and big teeth. But surprisingly, this wolf isn't evil. He's actually really nice, which I'm happy. You see what I like about the season 2 villains? They may look all big and scary, but actually they're really, really nice. They're really nice. And then her grandmother comes into the room with freshly made cookies. But I need to ask, is that Una's actual canon grandmother, or is it just for the story? Because they both have the same fishtail. Is it just me? Because when I was younger, I thought, oh my god, we finally get to see her grandma. But then as I go, I remembered. Oh wait, it's a story still, so I don't know if it is canon. But I'm not going with that theory. Talk about all their parents are dead. I'm not doing that. I'm not. But yes. And then she asks that why do they need all these cookies for a magical potion? And then Molly explains what happened to Bubble Puppy. And so nicely, Una decides to join Molly and Gil to help them transform the puppy back. And they put the necessary food items in her basket, which, perfect. I can't see Little Red Riding Hood without her basket full of cookies. I can't, bro. Okay, so then after leaving Grandma's house, they need to get porridge. And Una asks what porridge is. And then, once again, they look into the water, which So Happy Nani explains to them. Because even though we're not in... I love it how, even though we're not in the real world, we're in a story. I am so happy that we still have their somewhat schedule mixed in there. Just so clever. And then Nani explains it's like a kind of oatmeal. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if y'all like this stuff. I'm so happy, but please don't kill me when I say this. I do not like oatmeal. I don't like oatmeal. I don't like grits. I don't like porridge. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like some sort of like a texture issue. I don't know, but it's just always so gritty on my teeth. And the oats, I don't like it. I only had to eat oatmeal like for like a couple of days because I had a high cholesterol problem. So yeah, but when it comes to me and porridge and grits and oatmeal, no, I can't. I can't do it, bro. I can't do it. I can't do it. And of course, I love it when he also adds, it can't be too cold or too hot. It has to be just right. And then Nani leaves again, which I love it. I love that he added that because in the Goldilocks story, oh my goodness. Ah! I love it. Okay, calm down. Maybe I'm getting too excited because Dima comes. And she's Goldilocks and she's scatting she's living her best life. I love it so much. Oh my goodness. And she looks so wonderful. She looks so cute. I love her outfits. I love all the outfits in the movie, but Dima's Dima stuck out to me the most because she fits Goldilocks so well. She like Goldilocks if she had like a hip attitude, like a very hip personality. I love her. Oh my goodness. Ugh. And then she greets them, and they explain that she also explains that the other characters also explain to her that Bubble Puppy got turned into a frog, and they need some porridge. And I absolutely love it. I absolutely love when Dima says, rude. Can you tell how much I love Dima in this? Can you tell? Okay, I'm calm. But most coincidentally, not for the last time in this movie, she's also going somewhere where they need to get a specific ingredient, which is the Three Bears house. To get some porridge. And Dima tells them how much the bears love porridge, and they suggest that they stop by there to pick some up. And I love I love when Dima tells them too that they have to do what she's doing. Which, come on. I would follow Dima. I would. Okay. They finally arrive at the Three Bears house, and they're really nice. They're really, really nice. I like them. I like the little family dynamic. It's really cute. And the baby bear. It's really adorable. It's really, really adorable. And then I like it when the bear family sees Bubble Puppy as a frog, and then they exclaim, "No bears in the kitchen." And then Molly explains that he's not actually a frog. He's a puppy. A witch turned him into a frog. And then they ask that they need some porridge, and luckily and they tell them it can't be too hot or too cold. It has to be just right. And then luckily Mama Bear just made some fresh porridge. And then Dima and the little fish have to ask the audience which porridge is just right. And then when they finally find it, they carefully put the porridge away. And then I love it when Papa Bear warns them about the mean witch. But then and then once again we have somebody else joining them, and Dima says that she's going with them. And then when they finally put the porridge into the potion, Nani they show that Nani then tells them that they need a golden egg. That's the last ingredient. And then Nani advised they have to hurry up. And he actually reveals the witch's evil plan. And as we cut back to the castle, the witch is consulting her magic mirror about the progress of her magic potion. And and then she has Nani having to enter her lair to demand to know her purposes. With a cackle, she revealed her plan. She would transform everyone in the whole world into a frog. And then everyone in her entire factory starts saying she's so mean. Which, this song made me so sad as a kid. It made me so sad, mostly for their assistant frogs. Just, oh my goodness. It made me feel a type of way, bro. It really did. It made me feel sad. Oh goodness. And then the witch had them paused to elaborate on her evil scheme to her assistants, that she loaded all the potion into a rocket and to launch the rocket into space, and then a giant cloud of green bubbles would descend, turning everyone on Earth into frogs. Which, oh dear. I mean, I have nothing against frogs. I love The Princess and the Frog, but being turned into a frog, no thank you. I don't want all those warts. Ooh, kind of grossed out just thinking about it. Just, no thank you. No offense to Prince Naveen or Tiana. But anyway, back with the Bubble Guppies, Una wonders how they're gonna find a golden egg. But then Nani comes back again. Nani comes back saying that they need a dozen eggs, which is 12. And as they ponder where to find such treasures, another figure emerged, which is Gobi as Jack. You see what I mean? 2 characters can't be named Jack in this movie. It only has to be because we don't want the confusion. So I'm happy that they just went with Gil's original name and then Jack is Gobi. I like that. And then luckily he's here to help, and he has some magical beans. when they asked him about some golden eggs, but he didn't have any. So, and I absolutely love the scene where the beanstalk grows. Like, it turns out tiny, just a little sprout, and then before you know it, boom, it starts growing like crazy. And that will come into play later. And later, they're at the top of the beanstalk, and the bubble guppies discover a castle nestled into the clouds. And they approach it, hoping hopefully it's where they can get golden eggs. And when the door opens, the door is so big because they're so tiny, but luckily they're able to slip through a crack at the bottom, and inside, their voices are echoing out. I always felt uncomfortable with this scene. I don't know why, because the hall is so empty spaces, and everybody thinks that nobody's home until footsteps approach, and it's the giant, and they all scrambled hiding under a newspaper. But when the giant picks it up, the guppies scatter, with Una pulling Dima to safety. Oh my goodness, poor Dima, my girl, my goodness, oh god. And this scene, I don't know why the scene made me laugh so much. As they watch the giant as he begins reading Humpty Dumpty in the newspapers. I guess that's where the fairy tale characters get their news from instead of books. But anyway, Molly then tries to approach the giant, trying to ask him about golden eggs, but instead he thinks that her and the other guppies are mice. But luckily the giant was able to calm down. But sadly, during the ordeal, he had tore his newspaper, and the poor thing was crying. But the bubble guppies offered to help him, and he was able to and I love the way how they fixed his newspaper. It was like it's in the little coloring books. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but you'll have to there's a picture and different squares, and you'll have to try and mimic the picture to finish it. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but that's what that reminds me of. I would always either A, try my best and do a sloppy job, or B, just skip that part in the coloring book all in general, because I was so bad at it. I was so bad at it. And then as the newspapers put back together, the giant is very happy, and he offers to give the guppies golden eggs, a dozen to be exact, and they have to count to make sure that they have a specific amount of eggs, not too much and not too little. And then as they finally have all the eggs, we come back to the magic mirror, which is Nani, and he's very happy that they was able to get all the ingredients. And then Nani warns them that the next phase will be hard. And he explains that once they reach their destination, they must dump the ingredients into the mean green potion to change Bubble Puppy back. And then with the goal in sight, the guppies locate the castle and head straight over. And oh man, this part of the movie, it had my chest so tight, bro. It had my chest super duper duper tight. So tight. All right. But anyway, we come back to the witch and her assistants having brewing the mean green potion as the guppies watch curiously from the shadows. The witch tests the concoction on a random crab assistant, and I felt so bad for him. I felt so bad. Oh man. I was about to shed a tear because like I said before, when I first started YouTube, my fear in cartoons is seeing characters transform into something, and oh god. Oh my goodness. I just felt so bad. And then seeing the sheer amount of potion that she has created, Molly points out that they must hurry and reach the little container carefully. And once the witch leaves, the guppies sneak past the assistants and into the potion area, and they hand the ingredients to Molly and Gil, who cautiously climb the top of the container and open the hatch. And oh goodness. I was so scared, bro. I was so scared. Oh boy. And after the porridge and cookies, after adding the porridge and cookies, they drop into the golden eggs, and all except for one. So they only have 11 eggs in there. And suddenly an alarm blares, and oh god, I remember the alarm. I didn't like it. Molly and Gil fret over the final egg as the potion is driven towards a launch pad further down the path. And when Nani briefly informs them of the witch's plan before his connection is cut off. And the guppies must hurry and reach the potion before it's blasted into outer space. And tell me why the witch, she does her own version of the lunch song, and she says, "It's lunchtime." Not gonna lie, Wanda Skies killed it. She killed it. So, back at the launch area, they watch the potion being loaded into the rocket, spotting a bridge, and they decide to figure out how to reach the launch site as the beanstalk as the blast off sequence begins. And then Gobi quickly planted a magic bean, and Molly and Gil scaled the beanstalk to get inside the rocket. And luckily they were able to aim the final egg into the potion before liftoff. However, the witch saw them and the beanstalk and ordered the liftoff to stop. And her attendants told her they couldn't. And she attempted to stop it herself. Like, girl's a go-getter. She ain't stopping at nothing to turn everybody into Prince Naveen. But I'm sorry. And then when Molly and Gil reach the hatch, they can't open it. And they're launched into the sky. So I guess in this world they have no oxygen. They have oxygen in space, at least in this story. I guess only in the story. It's just a story. Okay. So anyway, the witch instructs the mirror to stop them. But my boy, Nani, he refuses. My boy refuses. And he says, "I'm not going to help you be mean anymore." That's my boy. Don't play with Nani. Don't play with him. He knows right from wrong. 2 wrongs don't make a right. Okay? Respect the boy. Respect the mirror. Stand for the pledge of my Nani, boy. Stand up. Woo! My boy stood up to her. He stood up. He did his thing. Woo! I'm so happy. That just put a smile on my face. And then the witch decides to stop it herself, then grabbing her broom and going after it. And then Molly and Gil work together to open the hatch. But they spin and drop the egg with the witch and the witch was able to catch it. But then the witch asks curiously about the egg and demands to know what they're doing. And just then, the top of the potion container begins to open. She declares they're too late and nothing can stop the potion now. However, Bubble Puppy uses his frog tongue to grab the egg and hops around, trying to get into the mix while avoiding the witch, which is really funny. I'm so happy he put his new form into good use. I'm so happy. Because he just looked so sad and miserable the whole special. I'm so happy he was able to use his frog form for something useful. Oh, I'm so happy. Okay. And then Gil was able able to catch Frog Bubble Puppy when the egg drops into the potion, and then they watch the potion turn into a bright sparkly pink, which I really love so much. It looked like a strawberry milk, in my opinion. It looks so cute and bubbly. Maybe because I was also seeing another pink character on screen with pink hair. So maybe that's why I liked it so much. I don't know. But then Molly, Gil, and Bubble Puppy have changed the potion just in time, and then the bubble wand slowly drifts off out of the rocket bottle, and then the pink bubbles are released onto the world, and Gil and Molly watch as the witch is sent flying into the opposite direction, when she tries to grab onto the bubble wand, and she keeps on getting spun round and round. So funny. Oh man. And the millions of pink bubbles begin to appear all over the world, spreading color and loveliness throughout it. And Nani is even free from the mirror, which I'm so happy. Like, that just put a smile on my face. And I was like, is Nani stuck in that mirror forever? And then when I saw that scene in his cat, I was just like, oh my God, he's free. Yes. I was so happy. Oh my goodness. I was so happy. So anyway, um, so anyway, um, everybody is all everybody is so happy, but Bubble Puppy, he's still a frog, and then luckily but then Nani then approaches and tells them to hurry and change the puppy back to normal because there's only a few more bubbles left, and then Gil holds Bubble Puppy up to a bubble, and then he transforms back into normal, and he happily like smiling Gil because he's so happy. And they celebrate their accomplishment and thank Dima, Una, Gobi, and Nani and the Veers for their help. But then suddenly trouble begins to brew again as everyone worries seeing the witch approaching them, about to get revenge. And of course, how did I not mention this in the interview? Her catchphrase, "Bubble, bubble, you're in trouble." She says, "Bubble, bubble, you're all in trouble." Just, ooh, that still lingers in my mind rent free. Oh, goodness. Oh, God. And then she's about to get her revenge for ruining, for the guppies ruining her plans. However, Gil challenges, the witch, saying that there isn't any more green bubble potion. And then the witch shows that she still has the original bubble potion. She still has her original bubble potion in her pocket, and then threatens to use it on them. But then Bubble Puppy manages to blow it away, and the bubble hits the witch instead, changing her into a frog. And I love it when she says, "Bubble, bubble, I'm in trouble." And she turns into a frog, which is so in your face, witchy, your face. Not just kidding. I love On the Sky. And then they ask her, "How does it feel? How does it feel? It's not really good being a witch. I mean, it's not really good being a frog, is it?" But then, surprisingly, she likes being a frog. She likes being a frog, which really shocked me as a kid. I thought she would be upset. You know, I thought they would be like, "We'll only change you back if you promise not to be bad anymore." And I thought, I don't know. I thought maybe one of the pink bubbles would get on her too, and she would change. But I guess not. You know, sometimes the best endings are the ones that have a happy ending. Just kidding. But in frog language, she thanks them for surprisingly being a frog, and then hops into the water nearby. And then all the guppies laugh and cheer, and then Mr. Grouper ends the story and closes the book, saying that they all live happily, or the guppies choose to say happily, ever after. And then that's how our special ends. So overall, I absolutely loved this special. It was so good. I loved it so much, bro. The atmosphere, the emotional moments, the funny moments, and let's not forget there was also a freaking game inspired by this game. I mean, by this special. But I remembered it. I mean, I liked the game, but I feel like the character should have showed up. You know, I might play it one day on the second channel. I might. It depends. Depends how I'm feeling. You know, so please don't ask me to play. Please don't ask me to play. Oh, play the game. Play the game. No, okay. I'll play it when I'm ready. Just not now. All right. So as for my rating, I'm gonna give this episode, I'm giving it an 11. It was so good. I loved it so much. It was so good. I loved it. Everything about this episode was so good. And I liked it. I loved it so much. I loved it. It was awesome. It was really good. So, for those of you who are waiting for our next special, you're gonna have to wait until the next season, because that's when we get our next special. So, well, double length to be exact. Our next double length. But yeah. So we'll be returning it. So after this review, we'll be returning to our normal episode format, which is 25 minutes episode, no longer an hour. So tune me next time as we'll be reviewing our next episode, Season 2, Episode 6, The Cowgirl Parade. See you all next time.